Hey everyone, it's me again, your favourite Scotsman. Today we'll be talking about what happens if you die without a will in Ontario. Look, I get it. It's a morbid topic that we would rather not talk about, but the fact of the matter is we are all going to meet the same fate at some point in life, so we should prepare ourselves for it. You may or may not be surprised to learn that over 50% of Canadians do not have a will. If you're watching this and it applies to you or somebody you know, I hope you can find the time to listen to the ins and outs of today's topic. In order to guarantee that your assets should go to where they should, establishing a chosen and hopefully trusted executor, and if you have kids who will step in as their guardian to take care of them, the bottom line is you need a will. When you die without a will, it is recorded in what is called intestate, and your estate will be distributed to your next of kin by the government using provincial laws. It's likely that this won't be the outcome that you wanted. Not only that, dying without a will creates a whole lot of stressful work for the loved ones that you leave behind. Most of you, I'm sure, would like to believe that your family will be upset and grieve your loss. Do you really want to give them the additional headache of dealing with the government to settle your estate at the same time because you didn't bother putting together a will? Yes, I thought not. Unless you don't really like your family, in which case you can probably stop watching this video now. Okay, now that we've weeded them out, what exactly does intestate mean? Dying intestate is a term that means someone has died without a will. This outcome allows the government to use provincial laws when deciding how to distribute your estate and appoint your executor. Your estate includes all your assets, basically anything that you possess of financial or any other value, and a little known fact, any debts as well. In a dream world, this would work out perfectly and bring the family happily together. But it's unrealistic to expect that the government will be able to understand the distinct needs of every single family across the province. These distributions are often brashly decided on, and more often or not, heavy-handed in their execution. As alluded to previously, this may not be how you would want your assets to be distributed, as the government is not in the business of considering the specific needs of individual families. The first major consequence of dying without a will is, well, that you're no longer around to write one. The second is the resulting shock for your surviving loved ones who have just learned that you never had one drafted. Third, and adding insult to injury, is that when they consider how much time, money and work will be required of them before your estate can be doled out. Without instructions on how you want your property to be distributed, what type of funeral you'd like, and what you want done with your body, problems are sure to arise during an already trying time. A family member or friend will then have to go through the painstaking process of applying to the court to be appointed as the administrator of your estate. The administrator has the same duties as an executor, only the difference is that the administrator can't begin to act on your behalf until the court grants them permission, which can take a while. You know, these things are always done really efficiently. If nobody steps up to the plate on your behalf, then the court will have to appoint what is called a public trustee. That sounds like a bit of a hassle, doesn't it? Spending time to put together a will cuts out all of these headaches and allows for someone to begin acting on your behalf immediately after you die. helping ensure the continuity of your wealth and life achievements in order to give your family as little extra stress as possible. Before we get into how your assets are distributed, I wanted to touch on something even more crucial. If you have dependent children without another surviving payment, I cannot stress how important it is that you have a will in place. Without one, the court will decide on a guardian for your young children, which can get messy. This person takes on all the rights and responsibilities of a parent, and it may not be the person you believe will do the best job. I think we can all agree that this is less than ideal, to say the least. In terms of your assets, you can't donate to a charity you care about, you can't bestow any gifts to close friends, and you can't set aside money to cover the cost of caring for your furry family members. Ontario uses the Succession Law Reform Act to distribute your estate if you die without a will. This is typically the order of distribution. 1. If you have a surviving spouse but no children, the spouse gets your entire estate. 2. If you have a spouse and children, the spouse will get the first $200,000 and the remainder will be divided equally between the children and your spouse. Your kids' inheritance will be held in a trust until they reach the age of 18. This can make it difficult financially for a surviving spouse to raise a family. Age 18 is also often too young for children to know how to properly handle such a large sum of money. Number 3. If you don't have a spouse but you have children, your estate is divided equally between your children. If any of your children have died, their children get their share. Number 4. If you don't have a spouse, children or grandchildren, your estate is divided equally between your parents. If only one is alive, they will get your entire estate. Number 5. If you don't have surviving parents, your siblings will get your estate. If they're not surviving, either their children or your nieces and nephews get their share. Number 6. After that, all your assets go to the Ontario government. Gulp. That's a rough one. But I guess they just came back for the other half. I'll be the first to admit that thinking about death isn't fun, but not planning for it is far worse. I'm fairly confident that most of you listening today who don't currently have a will don't expect to die without a will. You are just assuming that there will be plenty of opportunities in the future to create this document and get it off your to-do list. But that's not always the case, and in a world full of unknowns, it may be better to make sure that you do have one just in case. Making a will should be a top priority to ensure that your family is cared for and to avoid leaving them with stress and frustration that comes with the complex process that follows an intestate estate. While there are plenty out there, the best option is typically to make an appointment with a lawyer to prepare your will. At the end of the day, having a will in place will ensure your estate is distributed exactly how you want and your family's future isn't put in the hands of a judge who knows nothing about them. Thanks very much for joining us and listening. If you have any questions or want a specific topic covered, please don't hesitate to drop a comment in the section below. Also, if you know somebody that does not have a will and you enjoyed the content today, go ahead and send them a link to this video. They may benefit from the information shared. Now that the morbid chat is over, enjoy the rest of your day and don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go. Every single one helps us out so that we can continue to help you out.